WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something called MacNair's Boutique House of Spirits. So, Lum Reek blended malt Scotch whiskey, aged for 12 years, and it says very, very big on here, peated. We'll see. All right, so Whiskybase number 187747, about 44 euros over here in Germany. Non-chilled filtered, natural color, 46%, and it is, as I just mentioned, a blended malt Scotch whiskey. No grain whatsoever. Now, you've never heard of MacNair's? Well, to be honest, I've hardly heard of them as well. We do know that Billy Walker bought then Glenallachie and together also the MacNair brand, and so he now has this new bottling line. But where does it all come from? So I go back to the wonderful, wonderful site, which is no longer being updated, scotchwhiskey.com. I really miss they were doing some excellent work there. And they still luckily left that site up online, so we can still use that resource of that wonderful, wonderful resource of information here. And MacNair's was actually an old Glasgow blend, and it was revamped by its former, I have to say, owner. You recognize how old the website is, Pernod Ricard. So if we go back here, MacNair's was the blend of Harvey MacNair and Company of Glasgow and London. And this MacNair owned Ben Romach. Yeah, now I remember, during the First World War. And then if we go back to the history of Scotch, is really, really interesting. We had Hiram Walker from Canada, after Prohibition, came over and tried to buy up as many different distilleries as they could. And they did buy up a lot. And that turned into Allied Distillers, and that finally turned into Pernod Ricard. So, Billy Walker had to sell his Glendronach, Ben Riach, and Glasgow. His investors wanted to finally have a return on their investment, so he took the money he bought from Pernod Ricard, then Glenallachie, as well as this brand, Lum Reek. So, if I actually say here, Lang me your Lum Reek, it is actually an old Scottish saying, and it actually just means the following here. Wow, I can't even see this anymore. Where is it? Here. It actually means here that long may your chimney smoke, which basically just means, hey, I wish you a long life of prosperity, of health, and of good health, long life, good health, and prosperity. Now, I'm going to read something that really kind of made me laugh, all right? So you go to MacNair's.com, you go to the story, and you go to that, and it says founded on curiosity. I'm going to read this, all right? So at the heart of MacNair's boutique house of spirits sits a meticulous attention to detail. Not bad. As a boutique company, we have unparalleled understanding of our discerningly selected cask, appraising up to 200 each and every week. We religiously sample and follow the spirit's coming of age. We understand the spirit, grow with it, become at one with its nature. We feel and live the liquid odyssey, enabling the creation of myriad exquisite drinking experiences. Wow. That texter for the ad here really did a good job. Irony off. We are pushing the boundaries of convention to create a boundless range of exceptional small batch spirits. We are founded on whiskey with a future of diversity. We are wholeheartedly invested in enhanced maturation. We are MacNair's boutique house of spirits. One home, many experiences, always exquisitely electric. Yeah. As I said, that just kind of tickled my heart a little bit. I've written some, I've corrected and I've translated some stuff for advertising agencies in my life, and You don't get new customers with stuff like that. That's just BS from beginning to end. I'm so sorry, guys. All right, very, very good. What am I going to compare it to? I'm going to compare it to a Bruichladdich. Why? Because it has a mix of casks as well. So because, what do we have here? We have 46%, which is very, very good. So we have here, if I may briefly go back here, we have first fill ex bourbon cask, we have Pedro Jimenez sherry cask, and we have ex red wine casks, all maturely and exquisitely mixed together to create something that is whoops, need a new glass, which is hopefully better than the sums. I have a total of 27 different casks in this one bottle here. Not different, I'm sorry, I don't have a total of 27 different casks. I have a total of 27 different types of casks in this bottle, from first fill bourbon to Israel red wine to I don't know what from France and so on and so on. If you want to look it up, it's actually 17/208. You go to bruichladdich.com, go to Classic Laddie, type in 17/208. You get a wonderful list of all the things there. Now, this is not peated. I sometimes get a tiny, tiny little whiff of peats there, but it's not, and this is. So this is a mix of Islay and Speyside whiskeys. Now, in the nose, I really don't get the peat. It shocked me the very first time. I had something out here. I compared it in my German video to whoops, this one, the double peat. This is peated Speyside and peated Islay whiskeys together. I kind of like that. That was not bad. And I just poured it the glass. It's like, wow, I get peat. And it's like, there's no peat here. There is no peat on the nose until you add water. You add water, the phenolic compounds are released for some reason, and you get a nice little peat moment. Now, everything I get here is as if it's fruit that's not yet ready. A cranberry, 3 weeks too early, maybe 2. A raspberry, 10, 15 days too early. A plum, a week or 2 too early. There really isn't that much pulling me in. There's not that much pushing me away, but this is, for me at the moment, a C, C plus whiskey on the nose. A light tart sourness is in here as well. A little bit of mocha. Some people love mocha. I'm not a big fan of it. Has to do with my aversion to coffee. All right. Cheers, 46%, non-chill filtered, natural color, 44 euros. The peated notes are coming through a little bit. Now, I'm going to try to describe it like I did in my German video as well. When I cook, especially poultry, I love using thyme. T-H-Y-M-E, thyme. I'll just have that spice or that herb. I think it's actually more of an herb there. I just love using it with my turkey, my chicken, whatever I'm doing there. I'll put that on there. And my wife is not a big fan of it. She'll eat it every once in a while, but if she had the choice, it's like, no. And I just, I made some turkey, some chicken roast again, and look how I am. It's like, I made a wonderful gravy, put a little bit extra thyme in there, yummy, yummy. And she's like, oh. And that's what I'm doing here with the peat. That peated mocha moment is a spice that some people will actually say improves the whiskey by a lot. But for me, it actually takes away, just because I'm not a fan of it. This is a whiskey that I might actually get a tiny little bit of heartburn from. It has that acidity to it, which I'm just not a big fan of either. I don't know where it comes from. There's a little bit of a lemony type of Koila moment in here. I'm not sure if it's in there or not. Billy Walker mixed the two. I think it's kind of interesting that there's been now a relaunch of a relaunch already with the new company that bought it because it was Glenallachie. By the way, if Glenallachie is watching, if you actually have your website, glenallachie.com, and you go to MacNair and you say more information about Henry MacNair, you land on the webpage of MacNair and you mention the name Henry MacNair once. Nowhere ever do you have a story about the history of this company, which would be interesting, to be honest, as whiskey nerds like to have that. Now, there is a 21-year-old blended Scotch malt whiskey as well, and almost 130 some euros. So you're paying 90 euros more for that extra age. Is it worth it? Next video, I'll find out. I do get the red wine casks. I do not get the Pedro Jimenez casks. There is a red wine moment going through there. There's that artificial cherry lollipop moment there. And I just don't, usually Pedro Jimenez would be raisins, would be a very, very serious moment here. Here, that's Pedro Jimenez. Very dark stuff here. I still have a little sample, and I know exactly what it tastes like, but I'm just not getting it. I'm going to add a little bit of water to this again, and then that peat pops. It just is released, and it's as if somebody had to put almost a lid on top of it and just taken away that lid. Yep, get the peat. There is an interesting mix here between the fruit, between the mocha, between the peat, but there's that sourness, that acidity that really, really is a deal breaker for me. If I go over here to Whiskybase, there's not many people that have tried this so far. There's 3 people that have actually left a ranking. 85, 84, 77. Now, 77 is a little too harsh. I believe that that's okay. But it's so new in the market, at least not many people have tried it and done anything with it. It says here by Whiskybase that we have American oak barrel, sherry, and even French oak, which I have not found anyplace else that anyone mentions here, the French oak in here. Maybe that's why I'm getting a little bit of the mocha. Maybe it was the red wine casks that were made from French oak, which would make sense. On the tube, it says here, nose, sweet peak reek, butterscotch, warming mocha, and gentle nutmeg. And on the taste, we have lashings of heather honey. Lashings. Rich toffee and sweet spice, all with undertones of peat. I totally agree with the undertone. And as I said, for some people that push it up, and for me it actually takes off minus points by having that undertone of peat. All right, just very briefly, the Bruichladdich, the Classy Laddie. That mix of 27 different types of casks here. Also, here I get a little bit of that red wine cask coming through. A lot more of a candy apple type of moment. More malt forward and so on. Interesting, interesting. What is your favorite blended Scotch malt? Blended malt Scotch. Wow, I can't even remember the name. I've been doing this now for 5 years. Blended malt Scotch whiskey. About 12 years or older, and maybe about less than $80 to $100, 80 pounds, 80 euros, whatever. What could you recommend as a competitor, as a comparison whiskey to this? What should I have had here on the table instead of the Bruichladdich? Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, tell others, and share if you'd like. And I will see you back here probably tomorrow with a new video. And yeah, trying to create a Wikipedia of whiskey videos. Wow, let's see if I'll ever win. The whiskey industry will beat me every time. See you soon. Bye-bye.